The government has come out with a proposal to form a foreign agent registry. In my view, that is a very tough and a tool, a draconian tool, which has got huge potential for misuse against Canadians. We have to look at Canada. We are a country of diversity. We have people of different culture, different heritage here. Some of us came several decades back, some of us came few years back. We all come from different countries here. This foreign agent registry is basically aimed at the cultural communities who have moved to Canada from other countries. We also promote multiculturalism here. When we say multiculturalism is a thing in Canada, it means that we want you to celebrate your culture, your heritage. When doing so, we also say that you have to have this connection from the country you come from. You are the ambassadors of the country you come from. You are the key for Canada to maintain good, strong relationship with the country you come from. Canada is a trading nation. 60 to 65% of our GDP comes from trade. So we need Canadians to help Canada position itself better in the world. So in the process, Canadians interact with the representatives of different countries. They advocate for the causes Canadians believe in. So this tool, the Foreign Agents Registry, is a tool that can be applied, misused, and importantly, once you are in there, that's a permanent sword on the top of your head that will prevent you from participating in the public life in Canada. Chinese community, we all understand, this is the 100th year of the Immigration Act known as the Chinese Exclusion Act. What many Canadians are not aware is that under that act, the Chinese Canadians have had to register, including those who are born in Canada. That is the kind of the generational trauma that the Chinese Canadians face continues today. So obviously the Chinese Canadians, not only because of the current geopolitical situation, but also as historically as Canadians, what their families have faced. So the Chinese Canadians feel they are more targeted in here. That is a natural thing. However, when you look at the Canadians I will give you two specific examples. One is the Israel-Palestinian issue. We have got Canadians who are very supportive of Israel, and we have got Canadians who are very supportive of Palestine, which the government of Israel and the Palestinian Authority both wants to promote in Canada. Rightly so, Canadians support either the Israel position or the Palestinian positions very passionately because that is what they believe in. So under the proposed registry, everyone who advocates for Israel can be considered that you are advocating on behalf of the Israeli government, and so you have to register. The same with the Palestinians. What you are advocating is what the Palestinian Authority needs, wants. So you have to register. And I will give another very specific case. Somaliland. Somaliland is now considered to be an autonomous region in the country of Somalia. But for all practical purpose, for decades now, Somaliland has been an independent country. It has got its own government. It has got its own army. It has got its own currency. Somaliland has been advocating for the recognition of the country. Somaliland foreign minister visited Canada recently, last year, if I am not wrong. So he is asking the help of Canadians, especially for the people, the Canadians who have come from Somaliland. He is asking their help to advocate for the recognition of Somaliland. So when Canadians advocate to government of Canada that you should recognize Somaliland, under the definition, they are all foreign agents. So, and another thing, in the for the multicultural country like Canada, we promote the multiculturalism. We encourage Canadians to have the culture, heritage, and celebrate and share amongst all Canadians. And every country in the world also would like to promote its culture, its history, its language, its heritage. So there will be interaction between the diplomats of different countries and Canadians. So, whenever you are promoting a culture or heritage of a country, are you promoting that country? That is the question. So, many a times when there is a gray area like that and a tool is available, this is a strong tool. When the tool is available, there is a big possibility of this misuse. And it once this tool touches you, the impact, the result is irreversible. Once any Canadian he has been flagged as a potential to be registered as a foreign agent, whether that Canadian registers or not, but once a Canadian is flagged, that is a permanent mark on that Canadian throughout his or her life. So this is a draconian tool in my view. Today, I think around 20 to 22% of Canadians are foreign born. Every year, we are adding 1% of the Canadian population through immigration. So Canada is one of the countries where the population is actually growing, not by birth, but by immigration. So more and more Canadians come to Canada from different parts of the world, and everyone who comes here, whenever they keep in touch with the country they come from, whether as an academic doing research on different countries, or whether as a cultural ambassador promoting the culture, or whether any connections they may have. It can be family connections, it can be cultural connections, it can be academic connections, it can be business connections. And another thing we forget is that across the world, the governments of all countries are the biggest buyers of goods and services. Canada, as a trading nation, we want more and more exports to all the countries across the world. So many Canadians will have to deal with the governments of different countries because they are the biggest buyers of goods and services. So many a times the interaction that you may have to promote the Canadian export to a country, wherein you have to interact with the diplomats of that country in Canada, can be misunderstood, misflagged. And Canadians may be asked that they need to register under this foreign agent registry. So the scope for misuse is wide. And again, this tool, the impact of it, the results of this tool is irreversible. Once you are flagged for life. The government is doing a consultation process. This petition is a part of that consultation process. This petition allows Canadians to provide their input, their opinion, their suggestions to the government via this petition. Instead of each one going to the government website and writing in their own words, the Canadians are expressing their opinion through this petition. The fear you expressed, I have heard about it. The fear that people are even afraid to sign the petition, even though they fully support the petition, is exactly the kind of thing that we want to avoid in Canada. And that is exactly the kind of thing this foreign agent registry is bringing in. I'll give another example. Even before this foreign agent registry was proposed by the government, even before that, because of the sort of negative media coverage, the fear had already set in. I have personally heard that the Chinese Canadians who have been in this country for a long time, who are working for the federal government, they are either withdrawing or declining to serve on the boards of the community association that promote culture and other things. See, that fear has already starting taking its effect when Chinese Canadians are withdrawing from the participating in the cultural aspect, the heritage aspect of the community. So this is not good. The petition basically was proposed by a small group of Canadians, and Senator Paul Wu was one of the persons who helped them draft the petition in a proper language. And they reached out to me because a member of parliament is required to sponsor. Many people sometimes think MPs sponsors all petitions. It does not mean that MP has to agree with the content of the petition. However, in this case, I agree with the content of petition because several colleagues of mine came. Oh, Chandra, the press don't understand that the MP does not have to agree what the petitions he or she sponsors. But I told them I agree with the contents of the petition.